Hi, Nikhil.
Hi.
I'm connecting to it. So, Nikhil, do you have any question, doubts or questions on last class on IAM user groups?
I'm just looking for the recordings.
Okay.
I just
So
want to
if
go
you,
through. Yeah.
you just go through it, and if you have any questions, do let me know. Okay.
Yeah. But I'm not finding any record. Waiting for the record.
Okay. Let me.
Nikhil, I think I have uploaded in the what's YouTube, no?
YouTube?
Yeah, everyday recording is that's what I asked you your email ID and all. I asked you to subscribe this channel. So whenever you
Okay.
upload the recorded session, you will get it notification.
Okay. I subscribed, but I
So
didn't get
as
any.
so far 4 classes or 5 classes has been uploaded there.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Oh. The first day itself after the session, I told you and I have shared with you the link as well to subscribe the channel.
Okay.
Yeah, from next this
I'll
from
look
Monday
after.
onwards, directly you will get email notification.
Okay.
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 Yeah, I will share with you once again that YouTube link. There you can find last 4 to 5 classes videos.
Yeah, sure. I will look after that.
Yeah, yeah. Please carry on.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, in our last class, we have gone through user groups, how to create user groups and the user. So, we'll just recap that. The user groups is used to set permissions for a complete group. Means there is a group called developers, or there is a group called managers, or any other group. You want to set a permission for as a group, then you can set it, and later you can add the user. Say for example, learner group is there. You can add users later on. And whoever users you have added to this group, they will get the permission which you have set for the user. If I go to the same user, this person is actually part of two user groups. He is part of learner and also he is a part of developer. That is the reason certain things he got from the developers group and certain things he got from the AWS and learner group. And you can also directly attach some policies. Attach policies directly and you can search. S3 read only you want. Now you can see that directly also he got some access. Now, what about these policies? What is exactly the policy contains? We will study today. But this is how you need to create a user group. And very important thing with the user group is there is a security credentials section where You can manage your console login. Means you can reset the password. You can reset the password for the user. And there is also multi-factor authentication. If you need multi-factor authentication to be enabled, you can enable the multi-factor authentication and you can use any device. There is a Microsoft device, there are apps for generating one-time password. So you can use any of them. Google Authenticator. And access keys. What is this access keys? Is AWS you can access via this controller, like username and password you can access. There is other way to connect to your AWS, that is through console, means using command prompt. How to go to this command prompt is, you can just go here, type CMD. You get command. Now, there are some CLI commands. See, CLI command. What is CLI? Command line interface. This is command line interface. Means you can execute, you can do the same thing which you did via console using the script also. So AWS provides the CLI command. There are many CLI commands. I will show you. AWS CLI command for creating user. See, nothing wrong in going into the AWS documentation and finding this. See, if you scroll down, there will be a sample script which is given. You can create the user. The other day I have gone here and created user, right? Same thing you can do by using this command. I show you today. I have to write same command. AWS a user. I got some response saying username is George and user ID. If I go to here and check the user, refresh the user list. See, there is George. So some people use command prompt also. Means you can write like this script and do whatever you want to do without logging to here. Sometimes programmatically we need to create a IAM user, then this is how same thing will be there for getting list of users also. See, you have no need to remember this document. I mean this command. You can just go here in the documentation, you will find it. User AWS IAM list hyphen users, right? What is that it returned is? It is returning list of all users. Chaitanya, Bala. So like this, we can run command prompts and so for everything you have a command. And you should get one doubt. How I am able to connect exactly to this AWS account? Is it because I am in same laptop which is executing, or is there any way I am actually connecting only for this account? Right? It is not just because I am in this laptop it is connected. I can also connect from other laptop on, or your account also I can connect from this. How do we connect it? First thing, you need to install this to run this command, right? The AWS command line interface. To use those command line interface, first you need to install AWS CLI. So in Windows laptop, again in the AWS documentation, if you go there, they would have given how to install. This is how you need to install. Just click this link, it will download the CLI. So how can we check that our CLI is installed or not? Just run this command. If it returns something like this, it means that your laptop has a AWS CLI installed. If you want to test, you can run this command now in your laptop and you won't get any response because you may not be having AWS CLI. Okay. After connecting to, after you install AWS CLI, how do you connect to this account? This account. I show you how to connect. For example, this is my user. I need to go to security credentials and I need to generate access keys. This is access key, right? I will go to some other charge. So for charge, you can see there are no access keys. So create access key for CLI command. Create access. See, it has generated two keys. One is access key, other one is secret access. This is like username and password. But I'm not going to open this and show it to you because if I show these two things, there is every chance that you can run these two things on your laptop and connect to my app. So always be careful. Don't share those access key and secret access key with anyone else. When you are creating, generate these two. You click show here. You click show or you can copy or you can download a file in your local so that in future you can see. So once you generate this access key and secret access key, you need to just come here. See, it is asking me what is your access. The reason it is showing G4WQ is because I already configured it. So it is actually giving a sample. But now I can directly copy it, paste. And then it is asking for secret access key. I just need to copy and paste. I'm not going to do it because already I have connected. So once you do this, you will be connected to the console. So whatever commands you run there, they will get executed in this. So this is very important. Access key. Not only here, one more thing I tell you. For example, you have a doubt that someone has accessed your secret key and access, or the downloaded file, someone have stolen it or you missed it somewhere, you can always go here and deactivate so that no one can use it. Or you can also delete it. You can delete, deactivate, and also delete. So if I want, I will again create it. So basically, access key and secret access key are useful when you want to give programmatic access. In future, you are going to use many tools, right? Third-party tools. So those tools, if they want to access your AWS, you are going to use this access key. Similarly, this section you can see access keys for different services. These are all just for information. If you know that this is a place where you have the access key, secret access key generating section, that is more than no need to track. All right. Now, what is this role then? What is the difference between a user and a role? What is user and what is the role here? See, if as a user, you are a user, right? Say Ganesh is a user. If he has to connect to one database, how do we connect? He will try to connect and then it will ask for username and password. So that this guy is going to enter the username and password, then it will validate and give the. That is a good thing. That's not a difficult thing. Some scenarios, there will be a server. This server has to connect to the database. You understand? This is a human. So if you show him the username and password screen, he is going to enter it. Username and password, he is going to enter it, and then you can validate it. But that is not the case with a server, because server is not a human. So if you show the same login page, how does this enter the information? The username and password, the server can't enter. So in such scenarios, when you want to authorize or when you want to authenticate the systems like non-human, remember it very well. These are not humans, like server, like a pipeline, or any other system inside AWS. It want to access something else. So a system has to access to other system, and you want to give permission or validate the user. So in such scenarios, what you have to do is, because it's a non-human, it can't authenticate by itself. So you are going to create a role. Something, whatever it can be. You can name it as server role. So you are going to create a role called server role, see, a demo role. And again, this after that, the same steps like user. See, here also, you are able to attach some permission and attach some policies. So that is why the next section, what is policies, is very important. So basically, roles is mostly for the non-human access. So whenever you want to authenticate non-human to the other system, then you need to create a role. You need to create a role and then attach that role to whatever server you want. You can attach this to this server. Then Whatever permissions you gave for this role, they all will come first. Means if you have given read only or write or full access, everything you will get. Okay. Now that will lead us to know what is policy. When we are studying user groups, if you remember, we are trying to attach a policy. Create inline policy or attach a policy. When I was working with user, then also it was having users and templates. In roles also, the same scenario is. So the main important aspect here is policy. But then what is exactly meaning of policy? I give you an example. See, normally when you are working in office, they will give you a tag, right? ID card. ID card or access card they will give for your tag. So if there is a big IT park is there and it will have multiple towers also. And then your office will be in the 11th floor and 12th floor. When you get an access card, you can only, if you remember properly, with this access card, you can only enter into this tower and reach only 11th floor and 12th. You don't have access to any other floor. Sometimes, even after entering your office in the 11th floor, still some people don't have access to the server room. Sometimes in your office, there is a guest and the guest can't have any access to the main office. They will be sitting only in the meeting room. Right? Or sometimes some repair guys will come and they will get only access to pantry so that they can have tea. They can't enter anywhere. So how you are in reality, how you are managing this, how you are differentiate. Same thing if it is a infrastructure guy, infrastructure team, they have access to server. So how this access is going and how they are able to do. Even in your community, you would have observed some people are not allowed into your block. And some people who comes for lift repair, they are only allowed to go to basement. Or they are only allowed to enter the common area. And they are not allowed to enter anywhere. So how you are actually controlling all this? You are controlling with some policy. So policy basically will define exactly what is the permissions or what are the uh, permissions and rejection on or the limitations you are going to give for that person or service. So the policy is very important. In policy, you need to clearly define what you are exactly planning to do. For example, here you need to clearly say he is allowed to B block. Again, in B block, 11th floor and 12th floor. Again, in the 11th floor, you are allowed only in the meetings. So, like this, one policy is written. And this policy will be there in your access. That is why your access with your access card, you are allowed only to restricted place, not everywhere. So policy is a very important aspect. Remember, it is little bit difficult because you are still starting new. As we go on, you slowly will understand how to write a policy because this will keep on coming. So every time we do some work, we have to go back to the policy and give right policy for. Okay, so policies are very, very important. Now I will go to the policy section. If you go to the policy section, you observe two varieties. One says one model is having orange color. Some are not having orange. And if you read the type, the orange ones are all called AWS managed. Whereas the ones which are not having orange, they are all customer managed. So what is the meaning or what is the difference between these two? Is this orange ones are created by AWS, whereas the non-orange ones are created by ourselves. Why we have to create this? Sometimes you don't want what AWS is giving to you. You may want to add extra permission or you want to customize it. So in that case, you can write by yourself. So AWS gives us lot of policies. See, almost 1600 policies or 1500 policies are there. Sometimes you need more than what AWS gives. Or AWS gives some baseline and you want to write on top of it. So that is where you need to write policy. To begin with, easiest thing to do is AWS policies itself you can use. For example, I want to give database read-only access to no, the line I will tell you. Allow everyone for database read-only access. Means see, this is your statement. What does it say is allow everyone to have read-only access on database. This is the policy you have to write. Simple. So first you need to decide what you want to give permission. Or sometimes it can be two things also. So first is read-only access to database. Second one is for a storage service, full access. So these two things you want to give. So you want to give allow everyone a read-only access to database and also full access to storage service. So how we are going to create a policy for this state? Sometimes you may directly get a policy. So database is RDS is the database. You can see there is already some policy. RDS read only. So this is there. Similarly, storage service to full access. S3 is the storage service. So see, there is a S3. So you want these two policies to be used. These two policies you have to use. And now I will tell you how to use or how to write a policy. If I go to this S3 full access, they are already including two permissions. Two, and you can go to permission and then hit JSON. Means you will get the script. I want you to understand the script so that you can easily write by yourself. This is the sample file. Don't worry that you have to write all this. You can just copy and paste it and then modify whatever you want. That is the best way. I won't suggest you to type everything. So let's analyze what is given. There are 4-5 sections here. One is version, statement, effect, action, and risk. So version will never change. You take any policy, you need to write same date. For example, you go to any other policy, date won't change, version won't change. All right. So version is the first line. Then you have to write statement. So as I said, statement section will observe one thing. After statement, there is a square bracket and there is a closing bracket also. So you need to write statement section between these two braces. Then here you try to read three sections: effect, action, allow. So this will match these three lines. Allow everyone for this. So effect is nothing but either allow or deny. So in the effect section, you need to either write allow or deny. Next line, allow everyone. So everyone in software, you remember one thing, everyone means star. If I write star, it is everyone. So that section is resource. So resource section is star. Next, action. So these are actions. A read-only access and a full access is your action. So that you need to list. Whatever actions you want, those items you need to list. So this is how a policy has to be structured. See, suppose someone has asked you to create a S3 full access policy. How to write it is, you have no need to type everything. See, for example, create a policy. You can directly go to and click here, JSON. See, it has already generated for you. You have no need to type. AWS has generated everything for you. So you just need to replace whatever you want. Suppose the same policy you want, just copy this. Come here. So you remember, you be careful when you are writing where you are copying. Means braces don't copy. And I can add more also. See, you don't worry why I wrote or how you can know what is that exactly you need to write. Those things it will come with practice and knowledge. Because we are not yet studied anything on S3, you may not be able to write it at this moment. But what you try to understand is this section. But slowly I will tell you how to write by yourself. So the point here is we can identify the nearest policy which is suitable for our requirement, and then copy that code and paste it on your permissions, I mean your file, and then now I can write name file. So I have written some name. This one. Just now I created. This is in the policy. And there is no orange block because that is created by you. It is not AWS created. Now, for example, we created it. That is fine. Now, how to use this policy? So this policy has to be attached to some role. Now, what you have to do? Go here, create it. So, for what purpose you are creating? Attach a policy. It is showing you list of policies. Just select which one you want to attach. You can attach whatever you want. Now it shows what are the policies you are attached and a demo role like this. So this is how you create a policy and then attach that policy to a role. You can also attach that policy to your user role. For example, here is user and I want to add for attach policy directly. You can find our policy. Add. So you can create a policy. First you need to write a policy. Then that policy can be attached to a role or it can be attached to a user. And this is one method, like you can go to the documentation and get your policy, or there is another option, something called policy generator. AWS policy generator is there. Here you can directly select. See, now he is showing directly S3 bucket policy. You effect allow or deny. I will say deny. Principal is to whom? Means star. Star means everyone. Then action. What actions you want to give? 3 actions I selected. Or you can select all actions. You can see the list of actions. Many are there. Some time back, what I have selected is that put. All put I have selected. So like that, your wish. Whatever you want, you can select. And all results. Generate. Generate. See, this has generated a policy. That is why I said no need for you to type anything. You can easily generate. So whatever you selected in the backend screen, you can see them. So AWS makes your life very easy in creating policy. So then you copy this policy as it is. So you copy it. And then paste on your policy. You can directly. For example, our policy is there. What is that policy? This policy which you created just now. So I can directly edit. I can edit this. So, this is how I can do. And save it. I'm not saving. So this is how we can use AWS policy generator. So for today, don't really worry about how to write it, how to select these things, what is the purpose of each thing. At this moment, you don't know anything about services. That is why there is a some confusion. But for now, you understand what is the purpose of policy, how we write it, and how we are going to attach it. Later, as we go on, we need to write many policies. So as we go on, we will slowly understand how to write policy. Okay.
Okay.
So I think on the IAM, go through all the recordings, and in next class you ask me the question because I am going to start a new topic next.
Okay. I will go through.
Okay. Okay.
It's a little bit new to me, so I have to go through it.
Yeah. Go through it and ask me question on Monday.
Monday? Sure.
Okay. I'll let you know if I'm taking class on Sunday or not.
If it Monday, then I can go through the classes tomorrow.
No, I will update. Okay.
Okay.